Hey there friends, Amanda here with the Happy Homestead, and today I am going to make one of fall's most beloved desserts, and that is pumpkin pie ice cream. I bet you thought I was going to say pumpkin pie, but no, I think that's too simple. We need to change this up a bit and make it a little bit more fun, a little more interesting. And so we're gonna do pumpkin pie ice cream. I had planned on making vanilla ice cream because we have some gorgeous cream from our raw milk that we purchased from the farm. But I don't know, I just wanted to do something different. And I have all of these really nice butternut squashes. This is the smallest one I have from our homestead garden. And I thought, you know what, I don't need a lot of pumpkin to make pumpkin ice cream. This is perfect. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna roast this, and then we're gonna mix everything up in the blender and then put it in our ice cream maker. Now, I have to tell you something. It was just so funny. This happened the other day. So my son, he's 8 years old, and he's starting to become a little bit more independent with like making his own breakfast in the morning, which, hallelujah, I'm all for. But I was upstairs still getting ready, and I heard him down here, and he was like making his cereal. We have some of those Heritage O's and Heritage Flakes that we get from Azure Standard, and so he wanted a bowl of cereal for the breakfast that morning. And I thought, oh my goodness, because I had poured my raw milk that comes in the traditional milk jug into 2 half-gallon mason jars, because then I can easily skim the cream off and use it to do other things with. And I thought, oh no, I didn't skim the cream off yet. Came downstairs. He's like, Mom, this is the best milk and cereal I have ever had. And I'm thinking, no kidding. You got all the cream. And so he had his cereal with all the cream that morning. I was like, but it was good. Good for him at least. So anyway, I still have plenty of cream left, and we're gonna go ahead and make our pumpkin ice cream. So let's get this sucker roasted. So you very well may be asking yourself the question, why is she making pumpkin ice cream but not using a pumpkin? And that is a fair and valid question. And the reason is because I don't have a pumpkin, but I do have butternut squash. And butternut squash is a great replacement for pumpkin, especially in pie, and in this case, ice cream. Most of the time, people won't even notice the difference because you're still adding all of the pumpkin pie spice, the sweetener, right, the cream, everything is still delicious. So if you don't have access to good pumpkin and you don't want to buy the stuff in the cans, this is still a great option. So I didn't quite slice that very evenly, did I? So I'm going to slice this one again. And we're just going to put this on our parchment-lined cookie sheet. And we're going to roast it at 450 degrees for about 20 to 30 minutes, just until everything is softened up, and then we can make our puree. You good? Our squash is out of the oven. I'm gonna let it cool for a little bit, just cool enough to handle, and then we'll mash it up into our puree. Now comes the fun part. Now this is the lazy person way of making ice cream because I'm not heating anything up first. I'm not using eggs or egg yolks as some like decadent ice cream recipes would recommend. I literally am just using the puree from my butternut squash. I've got a jar of cream here. Look at that cream line. So this is milk and this is all cream. So I've got some cream there, but wait, that's not the best one. Look at that one. Look at that one. So I've got some more cream here. I have vanilla extract, pumpkin pie spice, and then the sweetener I'm using today, you can use regular sugar, you could use honey, you could use maple syrup. I'm actually using maple sugar. I get this from Azure Standard, and it is so divine. It like creates the most subtle sweet flavor with a hint of maple. It's so delicious. So I actually think that's going to pair really well with our pumpkin pie ice cream. Once we get everything mixed up, I'm actually mixing it in my blender, in my Vitamix. So you don't have to puree your butternut squash first, right? I'm gonna be putting it in there. Once everything is mixed together, we're just gonna pour it in the ice cream maker and let it do its thing. One thing I wanna recommend and kind of like make you aware of is that if you're following this method, be careful on how fast you go in your blender because of the cream, the heavy cream. You do not want to end up with whipped cream, right? If you over blend it and you go too fast or too long, you are going to basically end up with whipped cream, and then eventually it could break, and then you got all kinds of other problems and you're not getting the consistency of ice cream you want. So just be careful with that. But now I'm gonna get everything put in the blender and mixed up. I'm just gonna start by scraping and scooping out the squash here. Being careful to not get the skin. I don't want the hard skin, just the flesh. And this is just such a great way to use up some of those smaller squash that you might have, either from your own garden or from a friend. Now you'll notice that when I roasted these, I didn't put any olive oil on them. I didn't put salt and pepper, right? Because this is not being used for a savory dish. If I was using this for a savory dish, I absolutely would have done that. We're gonna start putting everything else in. I'm gonna start with my cream here that I have. Try to get all that goodness. You want to be aware of the capacity of your ice cream maker, right? Because you don't want to put too much in that when you're actually using your ice cream maker, it overflows. So just be aware of that. I did a little bit of vanilla extract. We're going to do a little bit of maple sugar. You'll also see I'm not measuring. That's about 1/4 cup, 1/2 cup, maybe 2/3 cup. I don't want it overly sweet. I'll add maybe a tablespoon of pumpkin pie spice. And last but not least, we're going to add more cream. And you'll notice that I did all of the other items before adding more milk or cream, because again, I want to be aware of where I am so I'm not overflowing my ice cream maker. That's probably good. Now this is a very important step. Tasting it. Before you put it in your ice cream maker, make sure it tastes good. It's so good. It's so good. You know what though? I actually think it can use a little more pumpkin spice, so I'm gonna put more of that in. Okay, I ended up adding a little more of the maple sugar too, so I probably got about 1 cup's worth of sugar total. Still not overly sweet, with the perfect flavoring. So let's get this in the ice cream maker. Ice cream is done. Looks amazing. So I've got these really cool little ice cream containers that I got on Amazon. I will link below, but this is what I use to store our ice cream. I also have a bowl of some graham cracker crumbs because I'm going to use that as a mix-in. Because let's face it, why not, right? Now the tricky part. Getting this in my little bowl without losing any of it on the counter. Alright, I've got most of it in, but I'm going to stop for a moment and pour it in my crumbs so I can mix them in nicely. Try a little bit. So good. Oh, that's gonna make for a really good addition with maybe like a warm apple pie. Probably not a pumpkin pie, but just a little pumpkin flavor on top of a different flavor for a fall dessert. Oh, and it's so great to have that in the freezer for when we actually want to use it. I hope you'll consider making your own ice cream. It's really pretty easy, despite what you may have heard or read elsewhere. These ice cream machines, this ice cream machine is a good 20, maybe 25 years old. Check Marketplace, check yard sales. You'll be able to find these things relatively inexpensively. So try making your own ice cream. Thanks for joining today. Stay healthy, stay well. Bye-bye.